what I'm going to talk about tonight is about becoming a future changer with Clean Easy. It's being a future changer with Clean Easy. So I think this business is magical. Jim Rohn said there's nothing magical or mysterious about network marketing. It's just about doing the basic fundamentals. And he's quite right. But it is a magical business because it changes futures. It's changed mine. And I'm guessing for many of you on the webinar tonight, it's also changed yours. But the best thing about being a future changer with Clean Easy is not just changing your future, vital though that is, but it's about changing other people's futures as well. And you can do that. And there's a little saying, a little quote I've got there on the screen that has become really important to me over these past 7 years. And it's this: you cannot change your past, but you can change your future. And I believe that very much so. All the experiences you've had up till now, your experience in life with jobs, relationships, the kind of person you've become, that's all already been created. You've had those experiences, they've shaped you, the consequences of good and bad decisions you're already living with. And your past is already created. But what isn't yet written is your future. You can't change your past, but you certainly can change your future. And this business allows you to do that. So I'm just going to take you through a few ways in which Clean Easy has changed our future, some tips for you into how it can maybe change or continue to change yours. I know some of you on the webinar tonight with far, far bigger businesses than yourself, where your futures have already changed and you're in the business of really changing other people's futures too. So let's move on. And let me explain to you just where it all began for us. We joined the business in August 2004. We have 2 kids, still do. They're fantastic. They were very small when we started. Luke had just started primary school, was about to start primary school rather in September. And in September this year, he started secondary school. So Clean Easy has been part of his life right throughout his primary school years. And sorry, in fact, he's just walked in. He's just got back from fencing lessons tonight. So he's just waved at me through the window. So we had 2 kids, August 2004, but we had a lot of debt. We were in debt and didn't see any way really of getting out of it. We were shuffling credit card debts around from card to card. For some of you, I'm sure, I know by the law of averages, for some of you that will be your experience too. And that was certainly where we were coming from. I was MD of a small charity, running a charity here in Cambridgeshire where we live. Although you can probably tell I'm not from Cambridgeshire, it's not a Cambridge accent. I'm actually from the northeast, even though it doesn't sound like I am, I know. But I was running a small charity, working pretty hard and earning around 30 grand a year, which, hey, isn't a bad income. But, in Cambridge, it really wasn't going to get us very far. And we were really struggling for money a little bit at the time. So Cambridge is an expensive place to live. And although it was a reasonable income, housing costs are really, really expensive down here. Those of you who live in the southeast, you'll know that all too well for yourselves. And we were in debt, and so money was just always tight. So why did we start a Clean Easy business? Well, we really were attracted by the idea of working from home. We'd always dreamed of it, always wondered maybe one day we could have a business of our own. Never knew how we could do that, how we could start one. And we were looking for something that would be flexible around the kids, that would actually work alongside them and around them. And really what we were looking for from the business initially was just 100 quid a week, where we could begin to clear our debts and maybe even save for a house deposit. We were renting. Because of our debts and some other bad decisions we'd made, we weren't able to buy a house. And so we were renting, and rental around Cambridge is just mad. It's very much a commuter city. Rents are astronomical. And so we thought if we could make an extra 100 quid a week alongside the job, that would really help us out. And that's really what we joined the business for. So in the early days, we got started, we put out our catalogues. We actually started with 400 books. And day one, I went and put them all out because I thought that's what I was supposed to do, stick 400 books out. It nearly killed me. It really did. But from the first 100 catalogues, I actually only picked up 1 solitary order, and that was for £2.99, and it was pretty much soul destroying, really. I remember ringing Sandra on the phone and saying, "Hey, I've got an order," and she said, "Well, isn't that the point?" And I said, "Yeah, but you don't understand, it's the first one." And so she said, "Well, how much is it for?" And I said, £2.99. And she said, "Well, you will keep going, won't you?" And then stop. So our first 100 catalogues really weren't all that great. But you know, I'm guessing some of you on here, you'll have had some bad pickups too. Don't ever worry about it. It's just the beginning. You're beginning to establish yourself. And finding a customer, even for £2.99, showed me that this business surely was going to work somehow. And so we got started, and over the first 2 weeks, we joined halfway through a sales period. We achieved £800 worth of sales, hit a bonus, that earned us 234 quid. So that was our first bonus check. And you know, as I talked to a lot of people in their business, their first bonus check was around the £200-300 mark. It's amazing how many people that's their experience. So in our first full month, we then went out and worked the business the first full month, and actually picked up £1,700 worth of business. That earned us just over 500 quid. Here's the thing. It meant in our first 6 weeks, we'd earned £700. Remember, we joined the business to earn £100 a week. So we did it. 6 weeks, 700 quid, jobs are good, and belief levels rising. We now believe the business was going to work for us. Here's the first tip I'd like to give you tonight. If you haven't written anything down already, please write this down. Earn the money that you've joined for. It's your responsibility and you can do it. Whatever you've joined to earn, make sure you're earning it. Whether it's 50 quid a week, £500 a week, a couple of grand a month, whatever it is, you go out there and earn the money that you've joined for. That's your responsibility to yourself, really. But you know, over the course of that very first year, we actually earned just over 8 grand from the business. And I'll tell you, it was a lifesaver, it really was. It really made a huge difference to our lifestyle. We were being able to pay off debt and just really make ends meet a little bit more comfortably. And our second year, we continued doing pretty much the same thing. And you can see there on the screen, our income went up. So what caused that? And maybe if you're in your first 2 years in the business and thinking, oh, that would be really great, how did that happen? Well, there are 2 things really. Our customers became more loyal, we found more customers as well, but also we experienced a little bit of team building. We built a small team, got to about 18%, was enjoying that, and then something happened, and I think it's really important just to address what happened, because some of you will be or will experience the same thing. So we had a few team members, 3, 4, 5 team members. We hit 18%, and then what happened was they quit. They left. And I remember thinking, oh, that's not in the plan. And we couldn't understand it. I really had a hard time coping with the fact that people quit. I've since discovered that's entirely normal. It doesn't bother me now. But in the beginning, it really, really did bother me, because I couldn't understand why anyone would see this great business, where really, from a standing start, it was very easy to make a few £100s a month and still quit. And so I told myself at the time, oh, the retail's great, but the sponsoring doesn't work. It's not where it's at. I haven't got time to sponsor people. And so I really felt that that was something that wasn't going to work for me. So pretty much we stopped sponsoring, and for the first sort of 18 months we really were largely just retailers. But some of that income came from team bonuses, etc. a little bit. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight into our first 2 years. But then in the middle of 2006, I took a fresh look at the sponsoring and really started to learn how to do it right, get my head right, engage in a bit of personal development, and learn how this business really, really works. And so we started to take the next steps. And you know, the next steps for everyone in the business, really, if you're just retailing or just new to sponsoring, is to go out and find some others just like you. And do you know what I can tell you tonight? There are people out there who will join your business. Because people just like you join Clean Easy. They really do. After all, you're in the business. Which means there are people in your social circle that will join this business if you invite them. The question is, have you invited them? and have you re-invited them if they've already turned you down once. So you need to find some others just like you. I know what you're saying, that's easier said than done, and of course it is. No one said it would be easy. But what you'll find is you'll get to those people that are just like you by going through lots and lots of other people, some of whom, hey, it won't be the right thing for, others won't be prepared to put in the effort. But by going through those people, setting everyone up right, caring and supporting them, caring for them, supporting them, making sure they're equipped to go out there and do what they want to do and need to do, then eventually you will find others just like you who will stay, who will build their business, they'll retail well, they'll sponsor others, and of course you've got the possibility of future change, both for you and for others. So that's really the next steps for anyone. And that was the next step for us. So 2007, our business paid us 23 grand part-time. Now this for us was a major, major income. Remember, my job was paying me around 30 grand a year. So we were beginning to get close to matching that. So it was beginning to have a radical impact on our lifestyle, really. We were paying off our debt. We took a decision. We were going to pay off our credit cards and get ourselves on an even keel, because that's what we felt we needed to do. And so 2007 was great for us. Then we continued building, continued paying off debts, and in 2008, our income from our business just exceeded what my job was paying me. And that was just a really, really exciting place to be, just by doing some very simple things in large enough quantities. I'm going to share some of that with you in a few moments. So we earned 31 grand thereabouts in 2008, which was fantastic. And that really had a major impact on our life, because we cleared, by then, since joining Clean Easy, we'd cleared 20 grand's worth of credit card debt. So I just want to say to anyone out there tonight, maybe you're very new in the business, maybe one of the reasons you've joined is that you're in debt, you're struggling. You need to understand you can actually pay off debt with this business amazingly. If you've joined and the wages from your job, your salary, is enough just to cover your basic bills, actually you can put your Clean Easy income into paying off credit cards, you can get debt free, you can take some of the stress away from your life. That can really begin to change your future. We've experienced it, and we used to find we were really burdened with the debt we were in. And I've since met many people in Clean Easy and out who had much bigger debts than us, but actually whatever the size of your debt, it's your debt. And so we were able to clear that, and today we're debt free, which is just absolutely fantastic. So we did that, and then got to a position where I was really starting to be tempted to give up the job. Now I was in a job I enjoyed. I was the managing director of a small charity. We were involved in older people's social care. I come to love the role. I was working in an arena I was comfortable in, and working with a great staff team. But you know, at the end of the day, it was a job. And I began to think, hang on, why am I still going to work? But you know, that was a major decision to take. It really was, because remember, I'd been halving my income effectively, immediately, if I gave up the job. But of course, the temptation was to go and build the business full time. And if you're considering that today, and I really hope you are, I think more people should be full time in Clean Easy when the time's right for you, and always do that in conjunction with discussing it with your upline. But if that's something you're considering, make sure you put in all the hours you need to do to build your business if you go full time. What I found I was doing was I had my job full time, and then I had a part-time Clean Easy business on top. The secret to going full-time in the business is to still work your Clean Easy business full-time and then part-time on top, just so that you don't miss out on the income. And that will be hopefully a helpful tip for anyone thinking of going full-time. So this is me and Sandra arriving home from my last day at work. It was just a real privilege. My sponsors, Richard Woods and Helen Lambert, came and picked me up from the office on my last day in this limo that they'd hired. It was a huge surprise, but it really, really meant a lot to me. This is ourselves in the limo coming back into our street, after being collected from work. And that was just a real turning point for us, and it really meant so much. We were so excited to be celebrating our freedom. But you know, this business is not about just keeping it for yourself. I said at the beginning, it's about future change, but it's not just about changing your future. It's about paying it forward and changing the future of other people. One of the greatest privileges we've had in the business so far was to be able to do exactly the same for a couple of team members of ours. This is Jen and Martin Amos, who many of you will know, especially if you were in New York. And Jen was in a job she absolutely hated. And they joined our business. They were very young when they joined. They've been with us now 5 years. They were only 21, 22. And Jen was in a job she hated. And as soon as they began to replace their income from the business, and we're now earning 2 full-time incomes from Clean Easy. And we actually did the same for Jen. On her last day at work, we hired a limo and went and picked her up. And that was a really magical, magical day for all of us. Great thing about that was everyone in Jen's office were all looking out of the windows, watching her, thinking, wow. And I was running around in the office, handing out opportunity DVDs, saying, this is why she's leaving. And it was great, great fun. So it's all about paying it forward. That's what this business is about. And if I can inspire and help any of you tonight to actually see your business in that way, to have fun with it, it's got to be fun, but to see your business in that way, then it's not just about changing your future, but changing the future of other people that you come across and can help. So that brings us up to the present day. Last year we earned around 45 grand from the business. So that's the most I've ever earned in a year. And really, really excited, and we've exceeded that this year as well. And we've actually qualified now for 7 of Clean Easy's travel incentives. New York was number 7. That's an average of 1 a year now. And that's just, it blows my mind. You know, we didn't join the business for that, but we found that those incentives, when they come along, you're not going to turn them down because they are so exciting. On top of that, we've had 6 other group travel incentives within the Vision Group that Jackie and Pete very, very kindly put on to incentivize the Vision Group to perform, and within their own businesses, obviously. So that gives us 13 free holidays we've had in 7 years. It's just absolutely crazy. And then, obviously, as Andy said in my introduction, we qualified for a Mini Cooper in January, which was a great goal, and we knew we were going to get that all last year. We really worked for that, and it was just a real pleasure just to drive that away. Absolutely sensational, fun to drive. As Andy said, we're also Vision Group Distributors of the Year, and then also won the Executive Cup. So we had a great year last year. And really, I'm just going through that and letting you know that, just because I want you to understand how this business evolves and what's available, because we are still new and young in the business, really, and our group's small and growing, and yet this success can come, and it can come quite quickly, you know. And this year already we'll break 750,000 group sales, so exciting times ahead. And I've never been as excited as I am now. It just seems like everything's set up for us, ready to go. And it said there, we've earned 14 grand in the last 12 weeks. So I'm just, you know, we're loving it now. Last year, not only did we win the Executive Cup, but 2 of our team members won the won cups. I think Kelly's on the webinar tonight. Hiya, Kelly. Kelly and Rich there on the right, who won the Harry Cook Trophy, and also in New York, of course, with us. And Jen and Martin on the left, Distributor Challenge Cup. And then we won the Executive Cup, and obviously our Mini Cooper. So, what I'm going to talk about is just give you a few just little practical steps. I think we're missing a slide there. Oh, I've actually pressed the one button that Andy told me not to press. So let me just go through this again. Forgive me, everybody. You know, I think the key to what I'm going to talk to you about now is just some practical steps that you can take. Now I'm going to give you some practical solutions that I feel are just really vital to getting everything up and running if it's not up and running now. or maybe you're in a position where you just need to reassess your goals, your targets, where you can actually make a difference to where your business is at right now. So that's really what I'm going to go through with you and just give you some practical things for that, which hopefully will really, really help you. So let me just get to where we need to be. Everyone talk among yourselves, and we'll get there in just a moment. Okay, here we go. Right, so, okay, so if you want to change your future, and I guess we have people on the webinar tonight who really do want to change their futures. If you want to change your future, there's 5 practical things I'm going to give you that I feel you really need. And if you want a bit more background on this, I would recommend reading some great books like Dare to Dream and Work to Win, because that's I'm trying to think of the name. Someone come on the chat and tell me the name. If Andy can unfreeze the chat, that would be great. Someone tell everybody the name of who wrote Dare to Dream and Work to Win. That would be fantastic. And these are 5 practical steps that you can have in greater detail there that have really helped me and made it. Thank you, Timmy. Tom Barrett. Thank you, everybody. Absolutely fantastic. Dr. Tom Barrett, absolutely great guy, wrote Dare to Dream, Work to Win, and also its follow-up book, Success Happens, Let It Happen for You in Network Marketing. I think they're 2 absolutely sensational books. So here are my 5 sort of practical tips really to get you going tonight. First, you need to decide what you want. It's absolutely vital to understand that this business will respond directly to what you tell it you want. Many people are in the business or come into the business not really knowing what they want to get out of it. And so, of course, they don't get exactly what they do want. So you need to decide what you want, whether it is a couple of £100 a week or a month, whether it is to pay off your mortgage, to buy a new car, to have that dream holiday, to create a legacy, something you can leave your kids. You need to understand exactly what it is you want. And I'd recommend taking some time to really think that through. I actually have my life's purpose, carry it with me everywhere, because I know exactly what I want for my life, and exactly believe that Clean Easy is the vehicle to achieve that, the vehicle that I've chosen. So decide what you want. The second practical step of that is to decide what you're willing to reschedule or give up to get what you want. I'm going to let you into a secret. There aren't many secrets with the business. There really aren't. But I think one of the secrets of the business is that everybody who's achieved anything really lasting and worthwhile has, for a short period of time, rescheduled stuff, given some things up for a while, so they can create a space and time to build their business. And sometimes it knocks me a little bit, if I'm allowed to say so, when people make it out that you can have everything you want in just a few spare time hours a week. I think we all know that's not true. You do need to create some time. You need to find the time to really build a business. So is there something in your life that if you were to put it on hold for a little while would make a difference to your business? You know, especially if you're wanting to really go for Miami. You know, if you're in a position where you're needing to hit goal this period or get your business in a position where you can really attack next year to get other things out of the business, you probably will have something in your life that for a short time you could maybe reschedule that, put it on hold. Not forever, but for a while, and it could make all the difference. I'm not going to tell you what that could be because it's different for everybody. The third thing you need to do is make sure you're associating with all the right people, because that's going to help you get what you want. You know, get along to the meetings, getting into the webinar like you are tonight, making sure that you're associating with a positive crowd within your group, and making sure that the opposite of this is true as well. Disassociate yourself from some of the wrong people in your life. Now, hey, if you're married to them, I'm not going to advise you anything there. But so some of your disassociations might be limited. But, you know, make sure you're giving yourself the best environment for your personal development, so you can get everything right for yourself. And the fourth thing is you need a plan that will work. A plan that will actually begin to achieve what you are wanting to achieve from the business. And you need a realistic plan that's going to have enough activity on it that you can get your business in a place where you need it to be. And then the fifth step, and the one without which none of this makes any sense, you need to actually work your plan. It's no good having a plan if it's not worked. So work your plan and make sure that you're actually doing all the things that you need to do that will get you changing your future for yourself and then others. So from there, I just want to recommend a couple of really vital books. I've mentioned a couple of Tom Barrett books, but two other, a book and a CD that have really made a difference in our life. First, the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. I'm sure many of you read it. And this book's absolutely changed our lives. I mentioned that we got out of debt, we paid off all our credit card debt. Well, you know, the difference to doing that wasn't merely the extra income coming in. And it's a falsehood to fall into the trap of thinking that if you just earn more money, you'll be able to have a different financial future. Actually, it's how you use money and how you spend it that actually makes the biggest difference. And this book by George Clayson, and many of you will have read it, it changed our lives. And it's a parable, it's a story, so if you prefer stories, it's a great, easy book to read. In fact, we were so blown away with it that we bought a copy for each of our children on their 11th birthdays. And we insisted that they read it, and we're teaching them how to make a profit, how to invest, how to give, how to save. And we're seeing their attitudes change already at 12 and 13. Their attitudes to money have changed, and they're always looking at how do I make a profit, how do I earn money, and we're really proud of them for that. So that's my big book recommendation for the night, really. And then CD, Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. Do you know what? Probably most of you on the webinar tonight have heard it. If you haven't, get a copy. This CD was the one CD when I started sponsoring for real that really got my head straight around it, and I totally recommend it. So there's a couple of big recommendations for you. So how do you have a successful business? How do you develop a successful business? Let me just run through again a few more practical things for you, so you've got some great meaty stuff hopefully to take away. I always teach my group, and it's really come down to us throughout Craig's group, the Imagine group, and the Vision group as a whole, that you're really looking to activate one new distributor every week without fail. Your business will always grow if you do so. And please note, I haven't said start a new distributor. It's all very well getting someone started in the business, but unless they activate their account, unless they place product orders, nobody's earning money, especially them. And it's about getting people active, earning money. And so we focus very much on activating a new person into your business every single week. That's what I always aim to do. And by doing that, you know, your business will always grow. The second thing is to personally retail a minimum of £1,000 every 4 weeks. You know, that's easy to do with a little bit of effort and focus. It's only £250 a week, maybe 25 customers a week. That's 5 customers a day, 5 days a week. Really straightforward to do. And again, anyone can do that. And we'd always recommend it as a way to know that you're leading by example. And then from there, make sure you are attending all local and company events. You know, be there, don't miss anything. I go to loads and loads of events. I'm always at events because I know the power of them, even for ourselves, but also for people that we've got with us. And we always try and take people along with us everywhere we go. So make sure you're at local events and company events. Use Easy Reach daily. Be on there every day. Don't miss a day. These are the little things that are so easy to drop and so easy just to not make use of. And then build to 10 active wide. Now, I'm not going to talk about systems tonight. There's loads of great groups on here, and everyone works things slightly differently. But I've been really impressed in the last couple of years at how much the company have really focused on encouraging people to build 10 active wide distributors, 10 distributors minimum on your front line. Why is that? Well, really, that gives you solid income. and it really does keep your income up no matter what the rest of your business is doing. So again, if you're new to sponsoring, focus, make it an aim to find 10 people who are actively placing orders that you personally sponsor, and then obviously you can go beyond there. And I've mentioned after that to aim for 15 to 20 people, because you know at the end of the day not everyone's going to be active. Some people don't do anything, others take time out. Everyone's their own boss and everyone's different. So, you know, build 10 active wide, but aim for 15 to 20. And then look for 3 to work with. You know, out of that, you're always going to have 2 or 3 people who say, well, hang on a minute, I want to do what you're doing. And I think that's where you need to let your natural people skills come into play, and just be yourself with people and say, well, look, I can show you how to do what we've done. And just be natural with people in how you do that. And look for 3 to work with to show them how to do the same as you. Because then you're well on the way, not only to gold, but into the executive levels as well, which is where the real royalty incomes really start. So, next from that is just to then practice coaching for competence. I just want to say very briefly about coaching. You know, coaching is so vital. It's not about just getting people started in the business, it's about helping and supporting them and making sure that they're equipped to be competent retailers, and then competent sponsors, and then of course themselves competent at coaching. And the more you practice coaching, the better you get. And then really, you really want to have, and I'm sure everyone on the webinar tonight does have, some serious goals that you're really committed to, both in the short term, medium term, and long term. And you really should know what they are. Things that you want immediately, things that you want over the next 6 to 12 months, and then longer term goals beyond that that you're working towards. And you need all those things for really the successful business to develop the way that you want it to do. So hopefully you found that really useful. I've got a load of quotes up around my office that keep me going. I just wanted to share a couple of them with you tonight, because I'm hoping they too would be of use. This is one, I don't know where it came from, but I've had it up for ages. It says, create your future from your future, not your past. And that fits really with what I feel is what I bring to the business about obviously creating your future, changing your future. Create your future from your future, not your past. Don't let your past hold you back. Whatever you're coming from, whatever your experiences are, the future's a blank canvas, and by putting into place those practical steps, you can really begin to change it. And then something that comes from a film, Paul Hogan said it, and I think that's just absolutely fantastic. The secret to my success is that I bit off more than I could chew and chewed as fast as I could. You know, I think what that says is, if you feel a little bit stretched and out of your comfort zone, you're probably doing the right things. And then you just need to do them as fast as you can. Get there as quick as you can, because that's really the best way to achieve success. So I'm very grateful to Paul Hogan for that. So I just want to leave you with a couple of little things that really shows what the business will build for you by putting those practical steps into place. You know, everyone wants to be wealthy. We all do. And wealth comes from the depth that you create in your business. And that will come as you become a competent coach. The depth in your business comes from duplication. By other people being able to copy you and to do what you do will create the depth that you need and that you want. The duplication comes from having a system. People need tracks to run on. They need to be able to follow an example and something that's duplicatable. And of course, a system can only happen if you keep things really, really simple. So all we've focused on over the last few years is just very simple things, doing the simple things well, doing them in large numbers, and showing other people how to do the same, and having a lot of fun. I should have added another slide there in huge letters. Have fun. That's what the business is all about. That's what makes a big, big difference. So don't forget, everyone, you can't change your past. It's already happened. What's happened has happened. Whether your past has been a great one or a not so great one, it's already there. But the exciting thing is you really, really can change your future. And I really, really wish you all the very best. Thanks for allowing me to share with you tonight. I hope you've all heard that. I hope it's been enjoyable. I hope you've learned something you can take away. And it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.